Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are diving deep into the chronological life cycle of wealth. We're going to take you all the way from the very foundation of your financial journey right up to a rock-solid, secure retirement. We've distilled some incredible insights from top financial experts, covering everything from unlearning those deeply ingrained psychological scripts you might be holding on to navigating the strict mathematical realities of drawing down your nest egg later in life.
Look, let's just disarm the shame right out of the gate. It is absolutely not your fault if you feel a bit lost when it comes to finances. Society teaches us how to earn money, and man, it certainly teaches us how to spend it, but rarely are we ever actually taught how to grow and protect it. Most of us inherited stress, not strategy. We were taught how to survive, not how to invest. But here's the good news. While you might not have known the rules of the game growing up, it is entirely in your power to learn them right now. So here's the ultimate question we've got to answer today. Do you control your money, or is it controlling you? A lot of people out there honestly believe they'll magically become great with money the second they get a raise or land a higher salary. But the data tells a completely different story. It shows that your sense of internal control, not your income, is what actually predicts your financial well-being. To shift from being at the mercy of your bank account to being fully in the driver's seat of your financial destiny, we first have to unpack our psychological relationship with wealth.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, Rewriting Your Money Mindset.
To reach financial freedom, we first have to unlearn the mental programming that's holding us back. You know how people have attachment styles in romantic relationships? Well, we actually have them with money too. Think about it. Do you avoid looking at your bank statements? Do you feel this intense knot of anxiety when you try to budget? We really need to shift away from those anxious or avoidant habits and build a secure relationship where we can confidently face our finances head on. And hey, you don't need to be some overly confident Wall Street millionaire right now. You just need to feel safe and secure when talking and learning about money.
The crazy thing is, your money beliefs might not even be yours. Most of the time, they're just inherited scripts from childhood. For instance, we have all heard the phrase, money is the root of all evil. But that's a misquote. The actual quote is, the love of money is the root of all evil. Money itself? It's just energy. It's a resource. We also tend to inherit the habit of avoiding tough conversations, like having the pre-wedding money talk, which lets bad habits and resentment set in before a marriage even gets off the ground. So I challenge you today, take just one negative inherited belief and intentionally rewrite it into a positive one. Let's replace that shame with some serious strategy.
Moving right along to Section 2, Automating Your Wealth Foundation. As we step into the action phase of your 20s and 30s, this is where we actually build the tactical foundation for wealth creation. Now, most folks think they can just rely on discipline. They tell themselves, okay, I'll pay my bills, I'll live my life, and I'll just save whatever happens to be left over at the end of the month. But human psychology simply does not work that way. Honestly, our brains are kind of lazy. Your brain views whatever cash is sitting in your checking account as completely available to spend right now.
Warren Buffett absolutely hit the nail on the head when it comes to this. The crucial takeaway here is that you aren't going to save what you don't see. You absolutely must automate your savings first before that money ever even feels like it's available to spend. Automation and separation are infinitely more powerful than sheer willpower. You've got to reduce the friction between the goals you have for your future and the actions you're taking today. And hey, don't just call it a savings account. That feels boring or maybe even a little restrictive. Call it your freedom fund to make it exciting. Start today. Set up an automatic transfer for a set percentage of your paycheck, or honestly, even just automate $5 a week. Or go cancel one subscription you never use. This invisible saving process reclaims your internal locus of control, and it guarantees that your future self actually has options.
Next up is Section 3, Avoiding the Lifestyle Creep.
As your career progresses, maybe you're in your 30s or getting a few promotions, you're going to hit the next major hurdle: societal traps. These traps essentially trick us into spending our future security just to have present comfort. You really have to beware of the golden handcuffs. That's when you stay in a job you literally hate just because it pays for a lifestyle that's competing with your income. So many people are out there driving amazing cars that basically cost their entire monthly salary. We have to stop evaluating our lives based on face value numbers and start looking at our lifestyle spending as a strict percentage of our post-tax income. Remember, the goal isn't to look rich to other people. The goal is to stop worrying about money altogether. Your 30s usually bring massive life events, which, unfortunately, means massive financial traps. It is incredibly easy to drop a fortune on a top-of-the-line baby crib out of pure excitement, instead of investing that money. But more importantly, you have to avoid the trap of prioritizing a kid's college fund over your own retirement. If you fail to secure your retirement, you're eventually going to look to your kids to take care of you, which is the ultimate, far more expensive burden on them.
And please, whatever you do, don't just assume you'll magically be richer in your 40s and can just pay off today's high-interest debt then. Do your future self a massive favor and save them the stress.
Let's fast forward a bit now to Section 4, Navigating Retirement Sequence Risk.
So now we're looking at the distribution phase of your life, retirement. The rules of the game change entirely here. What worked perfectly for you in your 30s could literally bankrupt you in your 60s. Think about it. When you stop working, the paycheck stops. In retirement, you are relying entirely on what you've built. And there's a harsh mathematical reality that takes over. Losses hurt you way more than gains help you. If the market drops 50%, you don't just need a 50% gain to recover, you actually need a 100% gain just to break even. And that math gets infinitely scarier when you're actively withdrawing money to live on.
Imagine you have $100,000 and you are purely in the accumulation phase, meaning you're actively saving and not taking a single dime out. In this phase, the specific sequence of market returns literally doesn't matter. Whether you experience your worst market losses in your 40s or your 60s, as long as you just leave the money alone to grow, you end up with the exact same final balance. You have the luxury of time to just weather the storm.
But everything flips when you enter the distribution phase. Say you're retired, your portfolio is at $684,000, and you're withdrawing 5% a year to cover your living expenses. If you happen to experience great market returns early on, and the market losses don't hit until much later, your money actually grows to over $2.6 million by the time you're 90. But if we take those exact same market returns and just reverse the order, meaning you get hit with 3 years of bad market losses right at the very beginning of your retirement, all while still withdrawing that 5%, it creates a fatal fluctuation. If you ignore this sequence risk, that exact same scenario leaves you with exactly $0 by age 82. Literally nothing. You are completely, undeniably out of money right when you're too old to go back into the workforce. The early years of your retirement heavily dictate the later years, and bad luck early on can literally send your lifelong savings right off a cliff.
So how do we prevent that? That brings us to Section 5, Securing Guaranteed Retirement Income. To prevent that terrifying zero, you absolutely cannot rely on a volatile stock market to act as a steady, reliable paycheck. We have to step into the final phase of wealth, protecting what you've diligently built with guaranteed strategies. Wealthy investors don't go broke because they rely on guaranteed income streams like private pensions to replace their paychecks. You also have to navigate some serious IRS landmines. At age 72, the government actually forces you to start taking required minimum distributions, or RMDs. Some experts call these the IRS version of weapons of mass destruction, because without a proper plan, they can accidentally bump you straight into a higher tax bracket. Plus, with the national debt constantly climbing, tax hikes on your nest egg are pretty much inevitable. You have to strategize right now to insulate your wealth.
Now, as you successfully navigate these rules and secure your wealth, there's one final psychological shift that has to happen. A lot of us hoard money out of stress, secretly terrified that wealth might change our hearts and make us greedy. But psychology actually shows that intentional generosity multiplies wealth, optimism, and productivity. Money is simply an amplifier. It's just a magnifying glass that makes you more of who you already are. If you are a generous person, wealth just allows you to make a much more massive difference in the world.
I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. As Warren Buffett so famously warned, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. So what's it going to be? Are you going to let inherited scripts and financial avoidance control you, or will you choose today to finally master your financial education? Apply these steps, secure your foundation, protect your retirement, and choose to make your money your excellent servant.